2.5 gallons into 100. And that's what I've been averaging. TG MotoRider. I want to talk a little bit today about why I bought another VTX 1300. This is the second VTX 1300 I've owned. I own a VTX 1800. I've had 9 motorcycles. I currently keep 4. I know, it's carbureted. It's an 08. Driving, it's kind of cold, but you know what? I let it warm up and it's fine. So a couple reasons why I bought this bike. I owned a VTX 1300 before. I had a black one and I loved it. I had 68,000 miles on it and it started giving me a lot of trouble right around then. It was still rideable, but it had some issues. So, you know, I had some room in my garage. I wanted to keep 4 bikes. So this was actually cheap. This was under $3,000. I figured, you know, to have a chill cruiser, to have another 1300 in my lineup. It's a reliable motorcycle. It's got a wide ratio 5th gear and a shaft drive. And I get about 40 miles. I get about 40 miles per gallon. What I really liked about this one, it came with the Cobra pipes. Already had the crash bars, got the footrests on it. It already had some things that I really liked. It came with the hard bags already on it. And a lot of times you can find these already decked out pretty well. It also has a large detachable windshield, which I took off. Windshields drive me a little crazy sometimes. You're paying under $3,000 for a motorcycle that maybe is your backup bike. You might have your Harley already, or you got your sport bike, or you got your adventure bike, and you just want a chill kind of cruiser. A reliable cruiser that just chills out. It's kind of what this is. But here's the thing. I mean, this gets a bad rap as being a slow bike. It's really not a slow motorcycle. As I understand, these dyno between 60 and 70 horses. That's not terrible. This thing's got plenty of get up and go. I've had no problems on the interstate. I mean, I'm doing 75 right now. Okay. So it came with the Cobra footboards, came with the hard bags, came with the Cobra pipes, has a huge detachable windshield that clamps on right there. The other thing I really liked about this bike, it has a 140 on the front. A 140. I love that. I love a fat front tire. I'm on the highway all the time, and I always like a wider tread patch. I just do. So this having a 140 on the front really kind of makes a difference to me. You know, these make great, not just great backup bikes, even if this is your only bike. No, it's not as fast as an 1800, it's not as fast as my Triumph 1600, it's not as fast as a sport bike, you know, but it is still plenty fast. Now, when this bike is cold, if you just try to jump on it and it's cold out, the other night I left work, it was 34 degrees, it was nighttime, it was damp. I had to get home, but I had to wait. If you just try to jump on it and go, it'll keep dying in first gear. You'll go to give it some throttle in first and it'll die. It'll stall a lot. So you don't want to press it when it's cold. Let it warm up. But once you give it the 3 or 4 minutes, well, I'll be honest, if it's really cold out, you want to give it more like 7 minutes. And yeah, you're going to use a little more gas. But I'm still getting 40 miles per gallon, even letting it warm up. I mean, even letting it warm up, even with the choke out for 60 seconds and all that business. So people ask me why I keep 4 motorcycles. I will say this. There are people that have way more motorcycles than me. You know, 4 is not that many. I've bought 9, but I've been going at this for quite a while. So, you know, that's life. You know, wherever your heart is, that's where you're going to spend your money. This is where my heart is. This is where I spend my money. On these. There's your 140 on the front. Now, I will say this. I had to put brand new tires on it. That is the only thing I needed to do. It had the Dunlop 404s on it. Here's the crazy thing. I put these Michelin Commander 2s on here. It is like a different bike. I mean, it's like a completely different bike. I mean, I can't believe I mean, I've had these before. I know what they feel like to ride them, but it just rides so much. I mean, it's just incredible. The grip you get from the Commander 2, I'm super hyper impressed with that tire. I love that tire. Then I added this Halo Daymaker, and I did myself, but everything else came with it. You know, it came with a lot of this stuff. It came with the hard bags, it came with all this. And it's not perfect. It's got a few little rust spots and stuff, but you know what? For under $3,000, I mean, that's why I bought another one. Because I know, in case of apocalypse, because I know in that case of 1 in a trillion that my V-Strom doesn't work one day, then I try to go my Thunderbird, the fuel pump doesn't work, and then I jump on my VTX 1800 and for some ungodly reason, that doesn't work. For some reason, I just think this is gonna start right up and run that day. So I've tried to fill my garage with almost bulletproof motorcycles. This is a bulletproof motorcycle. The 1300, I don't know if it should be your first bike, but it should definitely be your second bike, or it should definitely be your backup bike, or your daily grinder to save the miles on your pretty bike. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those pretty bikes. Every bike I have, I run the crap out of, so it doesn't matter. But I do have friends that do have the $28,000 two-wheeled garage ornament that they only take out 3 or 4 times a year, but their daily riders are usually something else, and it's usually something like this, because you can just rack up the miles on these, and they're workhorses. This bike is a workhorse. It's a workhorse with some throttle.